Vamos a grabar. We're going to record now. Y muy buenos días. ¡Feliz lunes! ¡Feliz lunes! ¿Cómo están ustedes? ¿Están bien?
Está bien.
¿Está bien? Para lunes, por Monday. El lunes no es mi día favorito de toda la semana. Por lo general, ah, para la mayoría de la gente, no le gustan los lunes. Most people don't like Mondays, pero ok, a ver. Vamos a empezar con algo a que vamos a escuchar. We're going to start with a little listening drill just for fun, ¿sí? Para escuchar, para entender. Y es algo muy fácil. I believe, and I think yes, she does do a system where she puts on very short. You have to watch the subtitles at the bottom because she just flashes every word by, but she speaks very slowly. So this is a warm-up video. Es un video como ejercicio de calentarnos, warm up, calentarnos, warming ourselves up. Okay. A ver. Momentito. Y tienen que entender el título, the title, el título del video es Mi primer otoño, my first fall. Otoño, fall, autumn. ¿Por qué? Why? Vamos a ver.
Antes, ¿cómo están? Mi nombre es Daniela y soy profesora de español en línea. Hoy quiero hablarles sobre mi primer
I
otoño.
want to talk to you about my first autumn.
Ahora yo vivo en Argentina, en el hemisferio sur.
Y por eso es el otoño. Therefore it is fall. Donde vive ella, en Argentina, es el hemisferio sur, así que las estaciones están al revés, they're reversed. ¿Bien? Ok, vale.
En el hemisferio sur, el otoño comienza en
It begins,
marzo y
March.
termina en junio.
Ends in June.
¿Por qué es mi primer otoño? Bueno, es mi primer otoño porque yo soy de Venezuela.
Ella es de Venezuela. Y Venezuela está al norte de Argentina, muy al norte de Argentina.
De un país tropical. En Venezuela, por ejemplo, hay solamente 2 estaciones.
Hay 2 estaciones, existen solamente 2 estaciones en Venezuela, porque está en el área en la área del Caribe, ¿sí? Entonces hay solamente 2 estaciones. Estación es season of the year, ¿sí? Hay otra palabra para season, como por ejemplo, la temporada de baseball season, la temporada del fútbol americano, American football season. Pero estación como el clima, hablando del clima, es estación, season.
Estación lluviosa
Rainy,
y estación seca.
dry.
En la estación lluviosa llueve mucho y
It
en la
rains a lot.
estación seca casi no llueve. Así que
Hardly
esta es
ever
mi
rains.
primera experiencia con el otoño. En otoño, las hojas cambian de color.
In autumn, the leaves change color. Y es necesario decir cambian de color, cambian de color. Change of color, pero es como se dice, it's just how you say it.
Cambian de verde a naranja, amarillo, rojo y marrón. La verdad es que no estoy muy segura del
No estoy muy segura. I'm not real sure.
orden.
I'm not real sure of the order. Verde, amarillo, naranja, rojo, marrón. Marrón es brown. La palabra para el color, como se dice en inglés, brown, en Colombia es marrón, en otros lugares es café o color de café, pero depende, la palabra para brown depende en la región, ¿sí? Por todo el mundo, hispanohablantes, rojo, amarillo, verde, sí, pero brown, depende de la región. Café o color de café o marrón.
Solo he visto
I have only
que el
seen,
último color es el marrón. Luego las hojas caen.
las hojas caen. The leaves, ¿qué es caen?
Fall. To fall.
Fall, sí, es la acción, caen,
Caen.
they fall. I want to point out, because I asked you to watch a video on reflexives. Tenemos un verbo caer, to fall, y tenemos un verbo caerse. Hay una forma reflexiva de caer, y es caerse. When you hear or when you look up the verb caer, caer is to fall. And when we tag on the se, this goes to show how meanings of an action will change a tiny bit. They get a bit of a twist when they are reflexive. Y caer, to fall, caerse, to fall down. See? When we make caer reflexive, it becomes fall down, like a person falls down, loses their balance. Okay? Vale.
De los árboles. Caen al suelo,
They fall
caen
to the ground.
al piso. En el otoño hace un poco de frío.
Hace un poco de
Los
frío. It's a little
días
cold.
están más grises.
The days are grayer.
Puede llover un poco,
It can rain a little bit.
pero en general las temperaturas comienzan a bajar.
Temperatures begin to fall or go down. Bajar es to go down.
Yo, por ejemplo, he sentido mucho frío
I have felt very
en
cold
esta época.
at this
¿Por
time.
qué? Porque, como ya les dije,
Because like I
soy
told
de
you,
Venezuela.
I'm from Venezuela.
La mayoría de mi ropa
Most of my clothes,
no es especial
most of my clothing
para estas
is not very special for these temperatures.
temperaturas. Así que he
So,
tenido que comprar poco a poco
I've had to buy little by little, poco a poco, is little by little.
ropa abrigada.
Ropa abrigada. Ok, ropa abrigada. Abrigada es una descripción del tipo de ropa, ¿sí? No es un color abrigada, no. If you know that the word abrigo means an overcoat, meaning a heavy coat, something heavy. ¿Qué creen ustedes? Let's see if we can guess. If you know that abrigo is a heavy overcoat for cold weather, ropa abrigada, ¿qué quiere decir? What would that mean?
An
Because
overcoat,
abrigada,
an overcoat, a shelter, covering.
yeah, warmer clothing. Yeah, clothing that is heavier for the weather. Yeah. Sometimes knowing that word abrigo is a coat, if we change that word abrigo, coat, a thing, into a description, well, it must mean the kind of clothing that you wear when you're getting cold, right? To make you warm again. Ropa abrigada. Okay.
Ropa abrigada. La ropa abrigada es la ropa que me da calor. He tenido que
Gives me warmth.
comprar zapatos,
Shoes,
chaquetas,
jackets,
ropa térmica y
thermal
todavía
clothing.
me falta. Todavía
Todavía me falta, I'm still lacking, meaning I still haven't got it. Todavía me falta. And me falta is like me gusta. She doesn't have it conjugated for yo. Me falta is lacking to me. It's something I need. Me falta means something that somebody needs that they don't have yet. Me falta. Think of falta as a fault or something that you just haven't got. Yeah, me falta something you haven't got yet.
necesito
Todavía.
comprar más ropa.
I still need to
Ahora
buy more clothing.
estamos en junio
We're in June now.
y me dicen
They
que
tell me
julio
that
puede
July
ser el mes más frío.
can be the coldest month. July can be the coldest month. En Argentina, claro. En Argentina. En Argentina, julio es el mes más frío. July is the coldest month.
Y la verdad es que
Truth
tengo
is,
un poco de miedo.
I'm a
Ahora-
little scared. Tengo un poco de miedo. Tener miedo is to have fear. And remember, they don't say you are, well, they do have different terms for to be afraid, but one of them is tener miedo. In Spanish, you have hunger, you have thirst, you have fear. Tengo miedo, I'm scared.
Ahora les pregunto, ¿en
I'll ask you
sus
guys, in
países
your countries,
hay 4 estaciones
are there 4
o
seasons?
hay 2
Or are
estaciones?
there 2
¿De
seasons?
qué países son?
What countries are you from? So she ends with a little question there. Okay, ¿sí? Bueno, no estamos en la estación de lluvia ahora, ¿sí? La temporada del monsoon season, no, todavía no ha llegado. We're not at monsoon season yet. Okay, vale. Bueno, ¿qué vamos a hacer hoy? What are we going to do today? Today we're going to talk about everyday activities, everyday stuff you do, so you have practice with everyday stuff that you do. Eventually, after we have our little first Q&A session, eventually we're going to get to these little questions for you to do. I had sent you this little file. See, acciones rutinas, se dice de todos los días. Routine everyday activities, things that you do every day. And these are questions designed to make you use some little simple verbs. But what I've done is, and maybe you didn't notice it, but I will point it out. We're going from easy things where I start off a sentence and you can plug in something that makes sense for you. We'll do the first one together. What I want to point out to you is that sometimes we have verbs that are just the verb by itself. Primero como el desayuno. First, I eat breakfast. ¿Sí? Como es un verbo normal. Una palabra, just one word. Y normalmente en español no decimos yo como. Normally you won't hear people pairing up yo with that verb como. It is not wrong to pair up yo with como, but most people drop it because the only person the verb como can be talking about doing that action is yo. So because it can only, como can only mean yo, they drop the word yo, right? If I plugged in comes, con S with an S at the end, comes, I'd be talking to you on a buddy level, right? If I change that verb to comemos, see, comemos, you know, from the mos at the end, it means yo
Us.
y más personas, us, we eat. And you can say nosotros comemos, okay? In English, you certainly have to say we eat, because if you just say eat, you don't know who's doing it in English, do you? But in Spanish, because the verbs are customized to what we call those conjugations, you know immediately who's doing the action, or you're pretty close to it, right? So comemos, we're doing it. It's an activity for us. Okay, so you're not going to normally hear a yo, just como, or a nosotros comemos, or a tú with comes. You'll just hear the comes, comemos, como, right? But sometimes you do have to have a pronoun paired up with the verb, okay? Sometimes you'll hear verbs. They are not just like como. They are a pronoun with the verb, and that little pronoun is not yo, tú, nosotros. It's me, te, se, and nos, meaning these are reflexive verbs. And just like I told you that caer goes from caer to fall to caerse to fall down, right? Making a verb reflexive, meaning I now have to have a pronoun paired up with the verb. It changes the meaning of that verb a little bit. These are special kind of verbs we call reflexives. So some of our verbs are reflexive, and I am going to underline the ones that need to have the pronoun, that you can't drop the pronoun. I'm going to underline these in your practice so that you're aware of them. And I'm going to put in italics the verbs that don't need a pronoun. They just use the one word, the verb by itself, with no pronoun attached to it, right? I'm going to give you yet another little clue of how theoretically being reflexive can change a verb. This verb como, comer, to eat, right? If we make it into, or if we use it as comerse, es posible, it is possible. Comerse, twist that meaning of comer a little bit to mean eat up, or like we might say in English, gobble up. You know, you snarf it, if you snarf down that food, there's a real slang word, snarf it down. If you gobble up food, you're eating it really fast, right?
Right.
Or maybe you're eating the whole thing. You're vacuuming in that food. You're so hungry. You're just consuming it extremely fast. That's comerse. So we don't always need that, right? We only need it if we're focusing on, wow, how fat that kid inhaled his food. You don't really mean he inhaled it, do you? But you mean suck it down, right? Like a hungry teenager eating their food very, very fast. So that's just a little sample of how sometimes you'll hear verbs used reflexively, and just know it tweaks the meaning, it changes the meaning. So the me levanto means I get my whole body up instead of meaning levanto by itself, which is this.
Excuse me.
Okay, bien, sí.
Excuse
That means that poner, instead of meaning to put something in a place, it means I am putting something on my body, right? Los audífonos o la ropa, I'm putting it on myself. Meaning, cansar means to tire. Something might tire you out. Okay. A person might make you really tired. An activity might make you really tired. But cansarse means to get tired. So when we start with these, we'll want you to start to pay attention for what kinds of verbs will be one-word verbs, yeah, like como or trabajan, versus what verbs might need to use that little pronoun with it that is what we call a reflexive verb. Bien? Okay. You had one little video that taught you some information about what a reflexive verb is. In the dictionary, when you look it up, it means there'll be a little word se, a little pronoun se tagged onto the end, like caerse, cansarse, levantarse, ponerse. Bien? But that little se at the end means I'm reflexive, right? And the reflexive pronouns that you need are me for the yo verbs, te for the tu verbs, se for anything in third person, whether it's singular or plural, right? So se pone means he or she is putting it on. Se, again, ponen, plural, means they're putting it on. And then the nos reflexive pronoun, which becomes nos ponemos. We're putting something on our bodies. So, okay, vale. Bien. Fantastico. You also have this little video that gave you a very long, a long set of here are different things I do through the day. And she went through morning routines, afternoon routines, nighttime routines. So the thing you need to know about is that some verbs will use only the one word, the verb. Some she had to flip into reflexives when they're reflexive verbs. Okay, so they will be mixed up, used as they are needed. It takes a while to get used to which verbs are reflexive, which verbs are not. Okay, vale, bien. ¿Hay alguna pregunta? Is there any question about how we set up these reflexive verbs or any question at all about examples that you saw in the videos? ¿Algún ejemplo? Any example? Or any alguna pregunta? Any question? Perdón. Cindy, sí.
Sometimes I'm not quite sure if something should be reflexive or not. Is
Okay.
there a rule of thumb to use?
Es buena pregunta. It's a good question. I had kind of a corollary related question once from a student who said, can I make every single kind of verb reflexive? Which was actually a really brilliant question. I guess technically a whole lot of verbs technically might be reflexive, but the meaning of the verb may change somewhat. Will all verbs be reflexive? No. Is there a rule of thumb to tell when a verb is reflexive? Some people will tell you there is, but I'm not sure there's a good answer for that. I think the answer is no. I think you just have to get a feel for it. And how do you get a feel for it? Hearing a lot of people talking and really noticing their examples. And in your case, probably turning on the subtitles so that you see, oh my gosh, look, there's a little me, te, se, or nos connected with that verb. And just noticing that. Sí, Cindy.
I have an example because this is when I was doing the homework. I wrote, nosotros nos duchamos, nosotros desayunamos, nos cepillamos los dientes, luego manejamos para trabajar juntos. We drive to work together. Do we drive ourselves to work?
Entiendo. Manejar is a good example. It will not be reflexive. It is not something we do to ourselves. You get into the car, you turn the ignition key, the car starts. What are you driving? Yourself? You're driving the car. If I have dry skin and I put the skin on my skin, am I just putting it down on the table or am I putting the substance on myself?
On myself.
I'm putting it on myself.
Mm-hmm.
So when I put on sunscreen, it's ponerse, right? If I put on a shirt, it's ponerse. If I put my shirt in the closet, it's not ponerse. It's poner.
Right.
Bien.
Yeah.
Which verbs are reflexive versus which are not? I can give you lists and lists and lists, but there's almost an endless kind of list. And you just have to get a feel for it with time as time moves on, from the most obvious kinds of verbs that are reflexive to some special ones that you'll find out later, or you'll hear an example and say, wow, I didn't realize that was reflexive. It's probably a special definition to that verb. See?
See.
Okay.
Gracias.
I'll give you a little example of a special kind of verb. And this is something that you may hear people say. And I am sorry that I'm going to, well, no, I'll keep it in present, even though you usually hear it in past. Here is a verb that is very obviously just the verb by itself. Dar. ¿Qué es dar en inglés?
To
¿Qué es
give.
dar? To give.
To give.
Okay. Well, it wouldn't be very normal to say, I give myself. Okay, if you want to, you know, like some love song, I give myself to, yeah. But, you know, you give a thing to somebody, right? Bien. So dar is just dar. But notice what happens when I make it. And then I add this little word onto the end. And that word cuenta is always going to be cuenta, no matter how you conjugate that verb. Darse, combined with this extra little word, which is not a verb, it's just a word of cuenta. Darse cuenta means to realize. To suddenly understand something. Right? It's that thing of if you look at a comic strip and, you know, they depict somebody who gets an idea and a little light bulb appears over the comic strip character's head, a little light bulb. That's darse cuenta. It just, whoa, it just hit me. It just dawned on me, right? darse cuenta makes it, darse cuenta is reflexive, but it becomes the special grouping of words and it gets a special meaning. And it's not just dar by itself. Okay. Dar is one of the very most frequently used verbs because we often give things to people, whether we're paying for stuff or giving them a phone number or, lo que sea, gifts, whatever it is, right? Giving information. There are lots of things you can give, but darse cuenta becomes this. So, no me doy cuenta. And notice that word cuenta doesn't change in any way. It stays just the word by itself, cuenta. The part that's the verb is me doy cuenta. And there, that me doy part is reflexive. Me doy cuenta means, and I'm making it negative here because this is maybe what you might realistically hear. I don't realize something. Yeah. No me doy cuenta. Okay. So sometimes a verb that you think, I'm thoroughly aware of this verb, dar, to give. Wow, easy. I know that I have to be able to use this verb, talk about giving things to people. If it gets turned into reflexive and sometimes combined with a special word, it becomes a special kind of verb phrase. Literally, to a Spanish speaker, darse cuenta would mean to give oneself an account. But if you try to translate that literally, it in English doesn't make any sense that way. You have to just take it on faith that darse cuenta is a reflexive form of dar with the special little word cuenta, and it means something special. It means to realize, for an idea to hit you. Boom, all of a sudden. See? De repente, suddenly. So, yeah. When is a verb, how can you tell a verb will be reflexive? You just have to get a feel for it as you hear more people speak. There are certain lists we can give you. And some of them pertain to this daily routine stuff because there are certain things we do in our daily routine that are normally reflexive, like getting up, going to bed. Okay. I call myself, that one's kind of borderline. You don't say in English very often, I call myself. But that is the way they express that, right? Llamarse, me llamo Martín, me llamo Marilyn, me llamo Ana. Lo que sea, whatever it might be, right? Me llamo. So you just kind of have to get a feel for it poco a poco, little by little. See, some will obviously be things I do to myself. Some not necessarily. They just change the meaning of the verb a little bit. And the reason I had given you that first video on reflexives, not this daily routine one, but the other shorter one, was that she injected that idea of sometimes reflexive change the action of that verb to somebody gets a certain way. That can be true. Okay, Usha, otra pregunta.
If I say to somebody, you didn't realize it, so would that change the doe into something else?
Qué buena pregunta. What a good question. Sí, I will show you what that sounds like. Because yes, it will change. So if, and this is the reason I said to you, now I'm just conjugating it this way because, perdón, got to move my box. I just conjugate it as no me doy cuenta because people generally will tend to know doy, das, da, damos, dan. Okay, because they recognize the conjugation. But, normally when we use that particular idea of realize, usually we talk about it in the past. I didn't realize. And dar looks very, very odd in the past. It will look like this. No me di cuenta. And that becomes I didn't realize. Not a present idea, but a past idea. So yeah, that verb dar will become a different kind of conjugation for the past. And this one of the is a very irregular one. So actually, it's maybe a good idea not to say I'm going to know all the conjugations, but if I just need to say I didn't realize, because sometimes we do want to just say that idea, just memorize that string of 4 super short words. The first 3 are 1-syllable words. No me di cuenta. I didn't realize. You say, oh, I'm so sorry. I didn't realize. Disculpa, no me di cuenta. Perdón, no me di cuenta. No me di cuenta. Bien?
Bien.
That idea of I didn't realize usually is a past idea. It's more common, isn't it? Yeah. Because we generally talk about something as something that happened to us. Okay. Más
think I'm-
preguntas. Any other questions on like reflexives or not?
I think I'm getting this right.
Okay.
I think there's, they have expressions, in and reflexives,
Yep. See,
all kinds of things happening here.
there is a lot. That's a lot, isn't it?
It seems like it, but
It is. So yeah, when we talk about expressions is a very general word. Yeah. Expressions is more like many words that get strung together. Like darse cuenta is an expression. You just have to know that those words all have to be used in combination together. But it just so happens that that darse part is indeed also a reflexive, but we have to add on that little word cuenta to get that realized meaning out of that. So therefore, yeah, it is an expression like tengo miedo, I'm scared, is an expression. We need that word miedo used with have. And the have part for, an English speaker doesn't feel real natural because we don't normally say I have fear.
yeah.
I have great fear sounds almost poetic or theatrical, doesn't? Yeah. I mean, you might hear, I have great fear, but it sounds kind of theatrical in a way. It's not something you'll use when you're chit-chatting with your friends saying, I'm scared of snakes. Right? See?
Right.
No es lo mismo. It's not the same. Yeah. Okay. Vale. Bueno. Okay. A ver. Más preguntas. Any other little question about what those reflexives mean? Because I know you kind of have to dip your toe in and just get used to it. Okay, vale. Let's take a look. Let's do a practice with.
Can I ask a quick question?
Oh, sí, claro.
Yep. So if poner means to put on and ponerse is to put on myself,
Sí.
what verb do I use to take off?
Ah, qué buena pregunta. What a good
Right.
question. Lo opuesto, the opposite. And I'll send you a list of common reflexive verbs after today's class. Or maybe we'll do it in the middle. I've got to check that out. Okay. Un momentito. Perdón. Vale, bueno. Okay. Ponerse means to put something on yourself. Poner by itself, just to put something in a place, to set it down, right? Ponerse, to put on oneself. And that oneself thing, we don't normally really say that very much in English. I put sunscreen on myself. No, you just say I put sunscreen on, or I put it on my arms, or I put it on my body, right? See? Ponerse, to put on. If you're taking something off, it's quitar.
Quitarse.
Quitar is the take away part, but you take it away off of yourself is the se part. quitar, to take off. And generally it's talking about clothing, jewelry, something that is sitting on your body, okay? Entonces, por ejemplo, en casa, at home, me quito los zapatos. Me quito los zapatos. I take off my shoes. At home, I take off my shoes. En casa, me quito el sombrero. I take off my hat. See? Quitar means to take something away, which might be used just as quitar, but quitarse is to take it off of oneself. Okay? And there are some verbs in reflexives like that that will have an opposite corresponding. See? Bien? Okay. So our point is, with some practice today, you're not going to use only reflexives, because in normal conversation with people, we don't use nothing but reflexives all the time. Yeah, we sprinkle them in as we need them. And so sometimes you're going to be using a verb that's just conjugated as one word, and sometimes you're going to have that two-word combo of me, te, se, or nos combined with the reflexive verb, the verb part. See? And you kind of have to get a feel when, and that's why you had a very long video where she talked about her routine, because she mixed them up. And that's how people will normally do that. Okay. Por ejemplo, for example, let's do this first one together, and then I'll take any questions, and then I'll send you off into work into smaller groups doing the other four. See? And here I just wanted you to finish a sentence. And some of these you're going to have to use a reflexive or not as needed. Bien? Okay. So, entonces, primero como el desayuno, después, okay, mi ejemplo, my example. Primero como el desayuno, después me cepillo los dientes.
Brush your teeth.
Me cepillo, exacto. And there is a verb, it's reflexive, because what am I brushing? A part of my body. And that's how you know that's reflexive. Me cepillo los dientes. Some places they use me lavo. And the lavar, you know, is wash, right? Me, and lavarme is wash myself. But in this case, well, you are washing your teeth, aren't you? Me lavo los dientes is the same exact thing as me cepillo los dientes. They just have two different kinds of verbs they'll use for brushing your teeth, but it is on your body. And you are doing it to yourself, right? If I have a toddler who does not yet know how to brush his or her teeth, then it's not reflexive if mommy is brushing the kid's teeth, yeah? See?
Right.
Pero, sí. Primero como el desayuno, después me lavo los dientes o me cepillo los dientes. I could change that and say I won't use a reflexive verb. Otra posibilidad. Primero como el desayuno, después lavo los platos. Lavo los platos.
Wash the dishes.
Wash the dishes. And the dishes are not a part of my body. So it doesn't make any sense to make lavar into lavarse. There, it's not an extension of my body. Los platos, they're a different thing. I'm doing that action to an object. ¿Entienden? Hay muchas posibilidades. There are many ways to finish a sentence. Okay, un ejemplo tuyo, an example of yours to finish this idea. Primero como el desayuno, después
Llamo a mi mamá.
llamo a mi mamá. Excelente. I call my mom. Me gusta. ¿Qué más?
This is Sam. You stole my response. I had primero como el desayuno, después me lavo.
Okay.
Is that right?
Okay, bien. Excelente. Sí. ¿Qué más? ¿Qué más? What else? What other idea might you finish it with? There are a lot of different ways you can finish that sentence because we all do different things. See?
Yo voy a caminar.
Voy a caminar. Después voy a caminar. Afterwards, I go walking.
Okay.
Bien.
Bien.
Después leo mi correo electrónica.
Después leo mi correo electrónico. I read my email. Perfecto. No es reflexivo. I don't read myself. No, leo el, and you know that one can't be reflexive. It's not very easy to make a verb like leer reflexive, is it? Because you don't read a human being. Okay. I guess in
Well, you
English
know
we
that
have.
that's an interesting way you put that because you know, like
Ah.
if you're playing poker, you know, do you read someone?
Yeah. That expression would not in Spanish be used as leerse. No, yeah. If somebody reads the room like a speaker, yeah, motivational speaker or whatever, politician speaking to people, right? Yeah, they are actually reading people, but they are kind of sizing up what people are thinking and how they're feeling and how they're receiving and how he needs to address that group. Okay, vale. Yeah. That's a figurative use in English of reading, isn't it? Bueno, okay, pero entienden, but you understand there are many different ways. There is no one correct thing with this. Okay, so I'm going to turn you loose into some smaller groups. So you get to practice a little more, smaller with 2 or 3 people, right? Your ideas. And the ideas you go in and you'll listen to everybody and kind of coach them. And, if they use a verb you don't know, ask, what does that mean? ¿Qué es? What is it? ¿Qué es? See? And coach each other, listen to each other, ask each other questions. And bien, okay? See, you will see those questions when you go into the smaller breakout rooms. It will appear on a little screen. And I think I'm just going to have you in 2 groups for today. Sí, bien. Vale. So you're going to see a little join button.
Oh,
You'll
join button.
hit that.
Okay,
And
there it is.
then I will share the questions to the breakout room. Okay, ¿cuántos minutos? Creo, 7 minutos. I think about 7 minutes will be about right. Quizás más como 8 minutos. Maybe I should give folks about 8 minutes. This will take a while. Requiere un poquito más tiempo. Es difícil saber cuánto tiempo exactamente las personas en los grupos necesitan. It's hard to know exactly how much time, how many minutes people are going to need in each group. Some groups get very talkative fast, and some might have a few stumbling blocks where they kind of question, did I use this correctly? So a ver. Nos quedan como 2 minutos más. We need about 2 more minutes. Then we'll bring everybody back. See if we had good examples to share. See if we have questions about, I wanted to say this, did I say it the right way? Okay. I give people about 1 more minute, give everybody a message. Okay. At 10-second mark, I'm going to take the we're going to take the share off of those little notes. Ok, está bien. Fantástico. Todos están aquí. Magnífico. We want to use this time after the finish the sentence idea to do 2 things. If you have an example that in your group that you thought this was great and I want to share it, I want you to do that. Or if you say, you know, I had an example that I thought was great, but I'm not so sure if I phrased it quite right. Did I say this correctly? Ask that question. Okay? Bueno,
Sam,
dígame. So tell me.
Sam, ask your question.
Oh,
I
and Sam,
can't
you're
hear
on
him.
mute.
He's muted.
Oh, you're still on mute,
So
Sam.
It keeps going to mute. I don't know.
Now
why.
you're good. Now you're good.
Okay, so the last question, number 5. Mi canso cuando?
Sí, sí,
Okay.
sí, sí.
My response to that was como demasiado. And we
Ah,
weren't sure as a group if that was the right response. So help us.
me canso cuando como demasiado. I get tired when I eat too much.
Yes. Mhm.
Perfecto.
Do you need mucho? No, demasiado mucho?
Demasiado es too much.
Right.
You could also express that as cuando como mucho, when I eat a
Mucho.
lot.
Okay.
Yeah. There's no
Mucho.
right or wrong. Yeah. There are just different ways of saying that.
But can you
Okay.
use just
Gracias.
demasiado?
Demasiado. Sí.
That's enough. Okay.
Demasiado is too, T-O-O, much.
Oh, it also includes the much idea?
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, perfect.
We need 2 words in English to say that. Yeah. Demasiado
You
is
already
too
read.
much. Yeah.
All right.
Bueno, sí,
Perfect.
exacto. O otro ejemplo. Otro ejemplo sería, another example would be, me canso cuando, me canso cuando tengo que limpiar toda la casa. I get tired when I
Oh,
have
yeah.
to clean the whole house.
Clean the
¿Sí?
whole house, yeah.
Sí, me canso cuando hace mucho calor. I get tired when it's really hot.
Mucho
¿Sí?
calor, okay.
Las combinaciones, hay muchísimas combinaciones de ideas posibles. ¿Sí? Hay muchísimas ideas posibles. There are a super lot of possible ideas you can use. Okay, más ejemplos, more examples or more questions? ¿Sí o no?
We didn't get through all of them.
Okay. Is there one that you would like to pull out that you didn't do together that you would like to ask about?
I do have a question.
Bueno,
Okay.
dime. Tell me.
So, para un evento especial, me pongo un vestido rojo. And if I want to say, and with red shoes, do I have to say pongo a second time, or can I just say,
No.
me pongo un vestido rojo con zapatos rojos?
Con zapatos rojos. Perfecto. Con zapatos rojos. Sí. No hay que repetir el verbo. No, you don't have to repeat the verb. No.
Okay.
Con
Gracias.
zapatos, sí. Me pongo un vestido rojo con un collar o con aretes, earrings, o sí, pulseras especiales. Sí, así. Y
I have a question.
sí, Usha, dime.
I would say yo cansado cuando limpio mi casa, pero you use the word limpiar, so I got confused that which one is correct.
Bien. Me canso cuando limpio la casa. I get tired when I clean the house. Perfecto. Bravo.
Okay.
Perfecto. Me canso cuando tengo que, when I have
When I
to.
have to.
Okay.
Cuando tengo que limpiar. Y es otra expresión, tengo que limpiar. Pero la idea es muy parecida. It's a really similar idea, right? The other one just talks about obligation, and the limpio by itself just talks about the action by itself. Not an obligation, but just doing it. Limpio. Bien. La idea es, hay muchas posibilidades. Y hay muchas posibilidades correctas. There are many correct possibilities. See? The idea is we have to play with these words because there are many different ways we can combine them. And most of them are good. Okay. Vale. Bueno, hay otra pregunta. Any other question?
Sí.
Or no? Or another example you want to ask about? Lisa, did you have a question or no?
Well, I think it was number 3, and it had to do with something.
Okay.
Oh gosh, never mind.
No.
Oh,
Los
there it
sábados
is.
y los domingos?
And
And you might not attach another verb to that. Let me give you my example, Lisa. Okay, tengo que pensar. I have to think a little bit. Los sábados y los domingos me levanto y no trabajo mucho. Me levanto y no trabajo mucho. I get up and I don't work a lot. Or los sábados y los domingos me levanto muy tarde. I get up really late.
Okay.
Es posible. You may,
I think it was
whatever
number
follows
4.
in me levanto may not be a verb. It may just be an idea you're tagging out. It may be when.
That's a good one. Yeah, that's
¿Sí?
great. Mm.
Me levanto muy tarde. Me levanto con mucha hambre. I wake up really hungry.
Okay.
Me levanto
Also- Oh,
y
sorry.
tengo mucha hambre. I get up and I feel really hungry. Y tengo mucha hambre. Los sábados y los domingos me levanto y pienso en las actividades. I think about. Pienso en las actividades. I think about the stuff I'm going to do, right?
Marilyn,
Yeah.
it says me levanto,
Sí, sí.
pienso. I'm thinking that I didn't conjugate
Me
them.
levanto y pienso. Y,
Oh, yeah,
and. Y pienso. Y pienso en las actividades del día.
All right.
¿Sí?
And
Okay.
number 4, it said I used a word for costume, mi pongo el disfraz. Am I
And-
saying the right word for costume?
Sí.
Am I saying it correctly?
Disfraz, sí. Disfraz
Disfraz.
is a costume, but that'll really be a costume, not like normal clothing that's like como esta camisa, no. Disfraz would be a costume, something you go so that you look like what you normally don't look like.
Oh, okay.
Okay? Disfraz. That'll be that kind of costume. So like for a costume party, a Halloween party,
Mhm.
disfraz means I don't normally look this way. Maybe you have a uniform for going to a volunteer job. See?
Right.
Bien? Okay, that wouldn't be really a disfraz. We would call that mi uniforme. Okay, por
Yeah,
ejemplo,
right.
si soy
Sí,
si soy voluntaria, por ejemplo, en
sí,
el
sí,
jardín botánico de Phoenix. If I'm a volunteer at the Phoenix Botanical Garden,
right.
soy voluntaria en el jardín botánico de Phoenix. Entonces me levanto y me pongo el uniforme de voluntaria. ¿Sí?
When I get up, I put on my uniform, something like that.
Sí. Yeah, sí, depende. But that word disfraz,
Oh,
okay, that's not really like an expression as in like a string of words. Disfraz carries a very
Oh.
specific thing. It's a costume, something that
Okay.
makes you look like something you're not really.
Oh, okay.
Okay?
Yes.
Okay? To
Not a
disguise yourself.
Okay, yeah.
See? Okay. So disfraz, somebody's going to think, it must be a dress-up party that is like, you're trying
Okay.
to make the people guess who you are or something like that. Okay. Bien?
Bien, yes.
Okay. Vale. Let's seg over to a different kind of thing. Instead of finishing the sentence with whatever, maybe a verb, it may be a thing talking about time, it might just be extra vocabulary. Now we're going to actually answer questions. Okay. ¿Qué haces? What do you do? And that word haces has to completely come out when you answer it, because normally when somebody says, what do you do? The word do comes out. And when you answer it, it comes back as, well, I walk the dog. Not I do walk the dog, just I walk the dog. I feed my pet. I read my email. I watch a TV show. Right? We have to plug in a new and different activity. That idea of do has to come out. And we have to put in a different, specific kind of activity, right? The do is a very general thing. ¿Qué haces? What do you do, right? But this te acuestas is going to be specifically a reflexive. You go to bed. You put yourself in bed. Yeah. Go to bed or go to sleep is acostarse in Spanish. You put yourself in the bed, right? Acostar without the se could be a verb by itself, but that means you're putting like your grandkids to bed. You're putting your children to bed. You're literally putting somebody in a bed, right? But acostarse is to go to bed. Okay. Despertarse is to wake oneself up, meaning you just wake up. That's reflexive. You'll need a reflexive verb. Haces. This is going to be a general. What do you do? Another haces. What do you do? ¿Qué haces? So, what do you do every day? On weekdays? When do you go to bed? Late? At night? Why do you wake up really early? Okay. What do you do during the afternoon? Whoops, I meant to do these. What do you do only on weekends? Some of these you may need reflexive verbs. Some of them to answer you may not need a reflexive verb. ¿Entienden? Understand? See? The reason you have the long, like 20-minute video to listen to where she talked about her routine was you heard different examples where sometimes she uses reflexives and sometimes she did not. She just used a plain verb by itself. And that's dictated by whatever that activity is. Some activities are not reflexive. Okay, bien? So you may sprinkle in reflexives, you may not. It depends on the idea you are personally trying to convey. See? ¿Entienden? Understand?
How do you pronounce the word fines? Los
Oh, this fines?
Fines.
Fines.
Los fines de semana.
Fines de semana. Fines de semana es weekends, meaning all weekends. All weekends in general.
los fines.
Solamente is just. Solamente los fines de semana means just on weekends. Solamente los fines de semana. Only on weekends. ¿Sí?
Gracias.
Bien, bien, perfecto, perfecto. Okay, I think I'm going to give you a little more time because it is an answering the question kind of thing. This generally takes a little more time. I think I'm going to need to give you a full 10 minutes. 10 minutos, sí? Claro? Bien, you will see the questions in the breakout rooms, so don't feel like you got to scribble them down and memorize them. No es necesario. Ya vamos. There we go. Okay, 10 minutos. We're going to give it a 10-minute marker here. Ooh, that'll be just about right. Y después un video con ejemplos de ponerse especialmente. Gonna finish up the day with a little video on using ponerse especialmente, pero otros ejemplos también de verbos que no son necesariamente reflexivos. Ok, por ejemplo, ¿qué haces todos los días entre semana? todos los días todos los días entre semana doy clases de español. Todos los días entre semana cocino mucho para toda la familia. Todos los días entre semana limpio los baños o limpio el suelo de la casa. Todos los días entre semana pienso en la cantidad de comida en el refrigerador. Think about how much food's in the fridge. Hay muchas posibilidades. La segunda, sí, cuando te acuestas muy tarde por la noche. Me acuesto muy tarde por la noche. Cuando veo una película con la familia. When I watch a movie with the family. Me acuesto muy tarde cuando tenemos invitados en la casa. I go to bed late when we have guests in our house. Me acuesto muy tarde cuando hay una fiesta. I go to bed late when there's a party. Me acuesto muy tarde cuando voy a un evento especial, when I go to an event, special event, ¿sí? Por ejemplo, número tres, ¿por qué despiertas muy temprano? Por la mañana, me despierto muy temprano cuando hago ejercicio, when I exercise. Y no me gusta, and I don't like it. No me gusta despertarme muy temprano. Me despierto temprano, pero no me gusta despertarme temprano. I wake up early, but I don't like waking up early. Así es. Me despierto muy temprano cuando hace calor en el verano. I wake up early when it's hot in the summer. Me despierto muy temprano porque las mascotas tienen hambre. I wake up early because the pets are hungry. ¿Sí? Me despierto temprano para regar las plantas. I wake up early to water the plants. Para regar las plantas. Me despierto temprano porque suena el despertador, because my alarm goes off. Suena, it sounds off. It rings. Suena el despertador. Quizás ustedes usan el despertador del celular. Maybe you use your cell phone alarm. Okay. Número 4. ¿Qué haces durante la tarde? Durante la tarde leo un libro o durante la tarde veo las noticias. I watch the news. Durante la tarde preparo la comida para la cena. I get food ready for dinner. ¿Sí? Preparo la comida durante la tarde. Durante la tarde, ¿qué haces durante la tarde? Voy al supermercado. I go to the supermarket. ¿Sí? visito con unos amigos. I visit with some friends. ¿Sí? Y por fin, número 5, ¿qué haces? ¿Qué haces solamente los fines de semana? What do you do just on weekends? Solamente los fines de semana. Voy a un concierto. Solamente los fines de semana. Hago una caminata. I take a hike. En el desierto. In the desert. ¿Sí? Solamente los fines de semana. Voy al cine. I go to the movies. Solamente los fines de semana. ¿Sí? Hay muchas posibilidades. Obviamente, obviously. Y ahora nos quedan como 2 minutos. We've got about 2 more minutes left. We'll let people finish up. And then we'll give them a call back with a 1-minute countdown. And see what questions they have. Give people the 1-minute mark. Okay, we'll give it a countdown to close the room. Some people may come back faster than others. Depende, depends. Bien, bien. Hola, Julie.
Hello.
And people come in as they finish up, so that's fine. Fantástico. Aquí vienen todos. Here comes everybody. Vale. Bueno, sí. A ver. I would like to take our remaining time to see if you have any examples of great examples you had or questions about, I wanted to say this, but I wasn't sure if I got exactly the right response.
You want to ask the question, Mark, or should I?
No, you go ahead, Sam.
The question was, my response to what you do on the afternoon is exercise at the gymnasium. So I use the word gymnasio, and I wasn't sure if
Gimnasio.
that's the right pronunciation.
Sí.
Exercicio e mi gimnasio. Don't know if
Bien.
that's the right.
En gimnasio. Se pronuncia gim.
Him.
Gimnasio. Gimnasio,
Gimnasio.
sí.
Okay, gimnasio.
Sí, por ejemplo, durante la tarde, ¿sí? Durante la tarde,
Right. Mhm.
voy al gimnasio, o posible, hago ejercicio en el gimnasio,
Mhm.
¿sí?
Yeah. Right.
O,
Hago ejercicio.
¿sí? O voy al gimnasio
Okay.
para hacer ejercicio. Sí,
Uh-huh.
el
Huh.
gimnasio, sí. Mi gimnasio, sí. It could be my gym, mi gimnasio. It could be
Gimnasio.
el gimnasio, the gym.
Okay. Thank
No
you.
importa, doesn't matter.
Gracias. Gracias.
De nada.
Okay.
Bueno, otra pregunta. Any other question? ¿Sí o no? ¿No?
Okay.
Okay. Seguros, sure. Okay, vale. Bueno, I want to finish class with a little video where you're going to hear her using ponerse. Uy, ¿dónde está? Ah, aquí está. Here it is.
Dos manitos.
I would like you to listen for when she does use reflexives and when she does not. This is a very slow video, okay? Bien. And you'll have a different video, and I'm still deciding because sadly a whole bunch of videos dropped this morning, and I could not review all of them to see which one would be the best one for you guys, just for general listening, which is we always need input during the week when you're not with me. Okay, vale. Ella va a hablar de su hábito de hacer ejercicio. I want you to listen for reflexive.
Hola, ¿quieres ir a correr conmigo?
Do you want to go to run with me? No.
Hoy vamos a hablar de la ropa que me pongo para correr.
Vamos a hablar de la ropa. We're going to talk about clothing. Que me pongo, that I
Put on.
put
for running,
on.
to
Okay.
run.
Ven. ¿Qué me pongo para correr? Las
What do I put on to run?
zapatillas deportivas. Estas son mis zapatillas para correr.
And you'll notice that zapatos, shoes, changed into this slightly different term. Zapatillos, and she calls them zapatillas deportivas, sports shoes. Running shoes, sports shoes. Zapatillas is just a different thing, like kind of like saying sneakers or running shoes. Okay, so zapatillas are just a little change in zapatos. It doesn't mean street shoes. Zapatillas are what you use to do some kind of exercise.
Ahora me las voy a poner.
I'm going to put them
¿Sabes
on.
qué?
The last is the them.
Ayer estas zapatillas estaban muy sucias. Muy
These shoes
sucias.
were really dirty.
Fui a correr.
And you know, she doesn't say están sucias. They are dirty right now. She changed it to a past idea. That's all that
Estaban.
you know, the estaban looks kind of like están, but it's
Estar.
not the same, is it? So estaban just changes it to was, or in this case, they were shoes. So there was more than one of them. They were dirty, estaban sucias. Okay.
Correr y corrí por un camino
I ran on
donde
the road.
había mucho polvo.
There was a
Esto
lot of dust.
es polvo.
Polvo, dust.
Por eso mis zapatillas estaban muy sucias.
So my shoes were
Entonces
dirty.
las metí en la lavadora y las lavé.
I stuck them in the washer Las metí, and she uses the past again. Just know that meter means to put something inside. So she stuck them in the washer. Okay. Y las lavé. Them I washed. That's the way they say I washed them. Las lavé. I washed them. So she's talking about past here.
para
That's
hoy,
okay.
para este vídeo. Ahora las zapatillas están limpias,
They're clean.
están muy limpias.
They're really
Y
clean.
ayer estaban sucias.
Yesterday they were dirty.
Sucias, limpias.
Dirty, clean.
Mira esto.
Look at this.
Este árbol es un almendro. Mira sus flores.
Ah, this is an almond tree.
Qué bonitas. En España, en febrero, los almendros florecen. Y eso es
Ah, the almond trees florecen.
Blossom.
They bloom. They sprout flowers. Flor is flower. When we turn into a verb, florecer, it means it sprouts flowers, and we call that bloom, right? Okay.
precioso. A mí me encanta. Bueno,
I
esto
love
es
it.
un almendro. Luego te voy a enseñar muchos almendros y algo súper bonito.
I'm going to
Quédate
show you some
conmigo.
other
Y
almond
ahora,
trees.
el pantalón corto. Cuando salgo a correr, me pongo un pantalón.
And notice, cuando salgo, when I leave, that's a plain verb just by itself. Cuando salgo, when I go out. See? A correr, to run. Me pongo. Now it's got to be, I put it on myself.
Pantalón.
Un pantalón corto, shorts.
Corto. Corto. No es largo, es corto. Este pantalón corto me encanta, me gusta porque no me aprieta. No me aprieta.
No me aprieta. It's not tight on me. Apretar means to squeeze. Apretar la mano is to do this. You shake somebody's hand. I'm not very good at apretar la mano means to shake somebody's hand. Yeah. Dar la mano. Sí. Apretar is like to squeeze. So no me aprieta. It's not tight on me.
Okay.
And notice, I'm not tight on myself. The clothing is tight on me. No me aprieta. Oh,
No me gusta la ropa muy ajustada
I don't like
para
tight
correr
clothes.
porque
To
es
run.
incómoda. No me gusta.
Uncomfortable.
Este pantalón no me aprieta y me gusta. Es cómodo. A ver,
It's
cómodo,
comfy.
incómodo.
Incómodo.
Vale. Poco a poco vamos subiendo y llegamos
going
a
up.
la camiseta. Normalmente
We're up to the shirt.
me pongo una camiseta de manga larga.
Ah, normally I put on what kind of shirt? Manga larga.
Long sleeves.
Long sleeve. See, manga is sleeve, larga is long sleeved. Larga
okay.
no es large, es long. Manga larga, de manga larga, long sleeved.
Sí, esto es una manga desde el hombro
From your
hasta
shoulder
la mano. Una
to your
manga.
hand.
Me pongo una camiseta de manga larga. Cuando hace calor,
When it's
cuando
hot,
hace mucho calor,
when it's really
me
hot,
pongo una camiseta de manga corta.
otherwise I put
así,
on a short sleeve
Corta.
shirt.
Esta camiseta también es cómoda
It's
porque
comfy,
no me aprieta. ¿Sí?
not tight.
No, no es ajustada, no me aprieta. Me gusta mucho. Bueno, otra cosa que siempre hago cuando
Another
salgo a
thing I
correr
always do.
es recogerme el pelo.
Oh, recogerme, it becomes a reflexive. Recoger means to pick up, but if I do this, I'm picking up a part of my body, my hair.
Hair.
So the way she talks about tying up her hair is recogerme el pelo. it means she's tying up her hair. And that becomes reflexive because she's doing it to a part of her body. Ah, fíjese. So notice that.
Ahora me lo voy a recoger.
I'm going to
Siempre
tie it back.
corro con el pelo recogido en una coleta. Como
En una
ahora.
coleta. Coleta es a little tail. We call that little tail of hair a
Hill.
ponytail. Yeah?
Ponytail.
Yeah? It has nothing to do with a pony. Okay. Maybe it looks like the tail on a pony, right? But
Yeah.
we might call it a ponytail, right? But una coleta, sí, ponytail.
Esto es una coleta y siempre corro con el pelo recogido. Correr con el
run with my
pelo
hair tied up.
suelto me parece una pesadilla.
So running with my hair loose, suelto, loose, free, not tied up, suelto, loose.
Lo odio.
I hate it.
El pelo suelto me molesta mucho.
Loose hair bugs me. Me molesta. Obviously, her hair is not molesting her. Molestar es to bother, to bug, to annoy. It bothers me.
Bien. Siguiente cosa. La protección solar. Esto es muy importante. Cada vez cuando
Sunscreen.
salgo a correr, uso protector solar. Primero me
I use
pongo la
sunscreen.
crema en el dedo y luego
I put the cream on my
Lips.
finger. See?
la pongo en la cara. Me
And
la
I put
pongo, a ver, toma.
En la cara.
Me la pongo en la cara.
Me la
Esto es
pongo.
muy
I
importante.
put it on
sí,
myself.
la protección solar. Esta crema tiene un factor 50. ¿Está bien? ¿O
50
me queda un poco de lo blanco?
Do I have a little
A
bit
ver,
of white skin
dime,
showing?
¿está bien o no? Espero que sí.
Hope so.
Luego me pongo mi reloj. Cuando
Me
voy a
pongo
correr,
mi reloj. I put on my watch.
me pongo este reloj porque ahora me estoy preparando para una ultramaratona de
Oh, I'm getting myself ready for an ultra marathon.
55 kilómetros. Entonces,
55
cuando corro,
kilometers.
tengo que mirar el tiempo, mi ritmo y tengo que ver cuándo tengo que comer. Esto es importante.
So she uses her watch to see when to eat, what her rhythm is, what her cadence, what her running rate is, right? See?
Así que siempre me pongo este reloj. Al final de todo, me pongo la
At the end.
mochila. Me pongo esta mochila
I put on a backpack. Me pongo la mochila. I put on a backpack. It's a wearable backpack.
para correr.
yeah?
Es súper cómoda. Me gusta mucho.
Really
Me
comfortable.
la pongo y bueno, ya estaría. Ahora estoy
that would be it.
lista para salir a correr. Ven
I'm ready. Estoy lista. I'm ready to go out running.
conmigo. Te enseño algo.
I'll show you something, she says. Enseñar can mean to teach. It also means to show. Te enseño. I'll show you.
Bueno, ¿y sabes qué? Se me olvidó decirte una cosa. Una
forgot to
cosa
tell
que
you something.
siempre me pongo para correr. A ver,
Something I always put on to run.
la tengo aquí. Es esta gorra.
It's this cap. Gorra. This is it's a smaller than a sombrero, right? Gorra is a cap. Cap.
Siempre la llevo para correr. Ahora me
I
la
always wear it to run.
pongo. Es muy importante llevar una gorra para
Important to wear a
proteger la
cap.
cabeza
Protect
del
your
sol.
head from
Cuando
the sun.
hace mucho sol, es muy importante llevar la gorra.
When it's really sunny, it's important to wear a
Entonces
cap.
yo siempre la llevo.
I
Bueno,
always
y
wear
como
it.
ya estamos aquí, te voy a enseñar algo impresionante.
I'm gonna show you
Ven
something
conmigo,
impressive.
acompáñame. Mira
Come with me.
esto. Aquí hay un montón de almendros.
There's a ton of almond trees.
Hay muchísimos. Mira cuántos hay.
Look how many there are.
Súper bonito.
So pretty.
Mira, una almendra.
Look, an almond.
Es difícil abrirlo.
Hard to open it.
Sí, necesitaría una piedra o algo.
I'd need a
Porque
rock
es
or something to
Muy
break the
dura,
shell.
muy dura.
Really hard. Dura, hard. Okay. almendras.
Bueno, aquí acaba el vídeo. ¿Qué tal?
Video
¿Te ha
ends, video ends. Okay, I'll send you the links. You can watch that again. So notice
Okay.
some of these verbs are reflexive, right? The ponerse that she did over and over again with different examples of what she puts on. And other verbs, not reflexive. Salgo, I go out. Corro, I run, right? Whether we use reflexive or not depends on if it's an activity we're doing to our body or if it has that get a certain way meaning. Bien, see? I'll send you that link so you can watch it again. And you're going to get another video, depending on which one I decide is going to be the best one. Too many came out, so I'm going to have to decide that and send it in your email later on. ¿Todo bien? All good?
Todo bien? Yes.
¿Todo bien?
Sí.
Fantástico, excelente. Entonces, sí, espero que ustedes tengan muy buena semana. I hope you have a really good week, sí, y que la pasen bien. Have a good week. Enjoy yourselves, que la pasen bien.
Adiós.
Enjoy yourselves.
Thank
Sí,
you.
bien.
Gracias, Marilyn.
De nada, de nada. Fue un placer. Was a pleasure. Y nos vemos más tarde. See you guys later.